You must find where the Yuan-ti have chopped into the great oak. At one of those places, you should find a gateway to the jungle of Chult. Go there, and either defeat all of the Yuan-ti, or seal the portal by slaying its guardian. Aye, all crossroads have a guardian, a living creature that serves as its keeper. Who or what the guardian of this crossroads is, I do not know. Its absence is probably the Yuan-ti's doing. An insult. Isair and Madae's Legion of the Chimera sent emissaries to the cities of the north to announce their sovereign rule of the spine of the world and their desire for equal commerce. Most of the emissaries were regarded as freaks and madmen. The mayor of Burn Shander, though, he sent gifts back to Isair and Madae. A bottle of wine and some pastries, all filled with holy water. The mayor's priest of Helm thought it would be amusing to send those gifts after he divined the twins' infernal heritage. Isair did not find it endearing. I know too much. I wish that I knew them only as adversaries. I remember them when they were children. They were raised by Mother Egenia in a small hut at the edge of the village. Mother Egenia was a priestess of Ilmater, the god of suffering. 30 years ago, when two demons fought each other in this region of the spine of the world, Egenia ventured forth to help those in distress. She went to Dragon's Eye, a volcanic mountain, to rescue villagers from the Yuan-ti and the demon Ixonomai. After a group of adventurers defeated the creature, Mother Egenia disappeared. No one knew what had become of her. Egenia scoured the spine of the world for both victims and survivors. She buried the victims at Hrothgar's Glen. One dead woman she took pity on, an elf maiden named Ilmadia Bariel. Not even I know why Egenia decided to call Ilmadia back from the spirit world. The elf had been a lieutenant in the demon Belifet's army. She was obsessed with rebuilding the Severed Hand, a ruined elven fortress. When Ilmadia was revived, she was heartbroken. Her dreams would never be fulfilled, and she had turned away from the basic moral and ethical values for which elves are admired. It was not until a month later that Ilmadia and Egenia made a strange discovery. The elf maiden had a womb filled with life. Egenia believed that Ilmadia had been blessed by Ilmater for her turn from evil. She could not have been farther from the truth. Ilmadia gave birth to Cambions, half demon, half elf. Somehow the demon Belhifet had planted a black seed in her womb. Ilmadia saw her son with twisted legs, her daughter with a hideous tail. It was too much for her. Everything. Ilmadia ran from the house and threw herself over the cliff face. Her body was never recovered. Egenia never recovered. She felt responsible for Ilmadia's death, and she took on the burden of raising the children. It was around this time that I arrived in the village and found the villagers killing the Yuan-ti half-breeds that had been born throughout the town. During all of the troubles, the Yuan-ti, serving the demon Ixonomai, had captured and seeded the female villagers of Kuldahar. 9 months after their rescue, the women of Kuldahar began giving birth. The children were all girls, all with black hair, smooth green skin, and golden serpent's eyes. The men of Kuldahar were uncontrollable in their anger, terrible in their fury. When the church of Ilmater attempted to intervene, they were run out of town. That's why the church stands empty to this day. The mothers carried their children to the only place that would welcome them, Dragon's Eye. She asked me to name them since I was raised among elves with an elven father. The boy was Isair, the girl Madae. I named them for my parents, my beloved parents. I rue the day I made that mistake. Egenia raised the children away from other people, teaching them morality in a bottle. She groomed Madae to be a priestess of Ilmater. When old Egenia died, that's how the villagers encountered them. Madae was performing burial rites. The villagers assumed the monsters before them had killed the old woman. When the villagers became agitated, Egenia's bottle of morality shattered. Isair and Madae's demonic instincts took over. When I arrived, It was a scene of horror. The villagers never stood a chance. I tried to contain the twins, but they escaped into the mountains. It wasn't until years later that I learned what had become of them. Isair and Madae lived on the streets of Luskan, scraping together money through intimidation and confidence games. Eventually, the pair tried to dazzle the wrong person. The intended victim was Edgil, a master in the host tower of the Arcane Brotherhood, a group whose members you've already met. Edgil took an interest in the twins for their obvious infernal heritage. He decided to use the twins as servants and killers in exchange for protection and training in the art. The twins proved to be valuable assets to the host tower. Eventually, the Brotherhood used Isair and Madae as emissaries to the abyssal plains. After years of service to the host tower, the twins decided to see how they would fare as mercenaries in the Blood War, the eternal battle between the Nine Hells and the Abyss. The twins worked as mercenaries in the Blood War. After meeting their father, Belhifet, they attempted to become powers of their own among the Beatazu, the devilish hierarchy of the Nine Hells. To their dismay, they found they fit in even less among the Beatazu devils than they did in this world. Constantly treated as pawns and frequently manipulated by their father, the twins left the Hells and returned to Faerun. I do not know how they came to live in the Severed Hand, but everything that Egenia ever hoped to see become of Isair and Madae died after she passed from this world. Isair is a twisted sorcerer, with as much power as any master of the host tower. Madae, once raised to revere Ilmater, has become a vile priestess of Iactuz Vim, the hateful bastard son of the Black Lord Bane. Now they seek to establish themselves as a power in the north, with their legion allies dragged from the most immoral and unreasonable dregs of the world's outcasts.
I am needed. Proceed. Ready? I see. Very well. I am needed. Understood.
Your desire? You have need of me?
Ready? Let's go to work.